Hi, this is Ryan at Flat Creek Plant Farm. It's a rainy, cool Sunday, and I thought I'd just use the slow day to do a couple videos. Um, I'm trying to do more of these because they're easier for me to do. I just accept the flaws in them versus writing where I get sort of tripped up and just over overthink things, over perfection, try and be too perfect. But uh, thanks for your patience as I try and learn this new medium. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about fall planting, and fall planting is one of those things that I don't really see. It's kind of hard to grasp, and all these nursery folks will tell you it's the best time to plant, it's the best time to plant, and I think it's a little more complex than that, but it is a very good time to plant. In some ways, it's the best, and I think in some ways, spring planting can be superior. It just kind of depends on the plant and the situation. So, what's hard on plants? How do you lose plants? I'd say, it's a few things up here. One, our soil is crap. It really is bad. It's that clay is not. Almost every plant wants a loamier soil. They want something that drains well and that is rich but drains well. So they get the oxygen, they get, you can, it gets the moisture, but it soaks through, but it's not just sitting in moisture because really the biggest issue up here is root rot in our clay soil. And then you have the wind, the rains, and the up and down cold weather. So all that, say that's, what, three or four top reasons you lose your plants. So what happens is, particularly up here in the mountains, we get up and down weather. There's not a hard solid freeze like you get up in the north. So you have plants will get confused and they end up leafing out. Once they've leafed out, if we get a hard frost, that wreaks havoc on things. And so it's this combo that's getting drenched with rain. It's oftentimes windy. I don't know if you're, you know, some of us have more, it's case by case here, but I get tons of wind cutting right through here. So that causes havoc and, uh, and those up and down temperatures. So the advantage of planting in the fall is you're not going to, for the most part, plants aren't leafing out again. So you have this nice warm ground which the roots like, this cooler outside air, which is less stress on the plant. And then you also don't have, which you have in the spring, you don't have these plants leafing out and starting their new growth for the season. So that's a serious advantage, and I think it's an awesome time to plant because of that, particularly September, October. Um, you get the ground is still warm enough. You get some good solid growth out of there, um, particularly with evergreens or hardier plants that you feel safer. Now, if it's something that's marginal or doesn't have a good established root system, things like tender perennials, I think probably spring is a better time for that, because the disadvantage to fall is then you don't have the entire season for it to grow out and establish itself. So when you plant in the spring, you get that whole season, all the way through summer into fall where it's establishing that root base. So if you have plants like really marginal to this area in this zone, zone 7 and above, sometimes 8s even thrive here. And even certain plants that are technically in zone 6, like gardenias or camellias, I I would push those into a spring planting when they can get a little bit more established and you won't have to worry about it quite as much. Now, zone 6 and up, fall is a great time, particularly bigger things like 3 and 5 gallon plants, things that have a little more established root systems. And evergreens almost across the board are just fine to plant in the fall. I have great luck with the arborvitae family, even in small containers. So hope that helps and takes some of the confusion out of your when to plant and when the best time to plant. Thanks.